What's up guys, I'm Sean. Next mod on my E92 M3 is an interior mod. One of the things I dislike about my E92 is this ashtray holder right here. First of all, I don't smoke, so the cigarette lighter and ashtray is pretty much useless. I can't even put my phone here or my sunglasses here. So today I'm going to be replacing this with this. This is a 3D printed cup holder and cigarette lighter holder that I bought from Etsy. It was about 50 to 60 bucks shipped from Europe. So having this is going to allow me to use this area for my cell phone, keys, or soda cans. Alright, so we're going to basically delete the ashtray and replace this section with two cup holders so it'll be more useful. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some plastic pry bars and we're going to pry this area up. This whole thing lifts up. You can remove your shift knob or not, or just slide this thing through. Here's how it looks underneath. You don't have to remove those connectors. These tiny 4 screws right here is the Torx T15. See it on 4 corners back there. The screws have been removed. Now we just have to wiggle this off. So now we have to remove the lighter assembly. I just disconnected this cigarette lighter to the connector. So now it's free. Use a small screwdriver and pry out this LED. This is actually a little LED light for the cigarette lighter. I found it easier to push on the tab on the back side. I'll show you in a second. So these little tabs right here, the plastic. So you use a screwdriver and you push on it and the whole thing should come out one piece. Now I just have to fish out the wire. Now at the new 3D printed cup holder, we're going to slide the wiring harness in and install the cigarette lighter. And this is optional. I decided to go with the cigarette lighter so I could use the USB to charge my cell phone. The back of the cigarette lighter has a little tab right there, which lines up with the tab right there. Alright, that snaps into place. You see how the tab's lined up? So there's 2 slots for LED lights. So my wiring harness only came with 1 LED light, so I'm just going to pick one of these slots and slide in the LED light. LED light slid into place, and you can see it kind of protruding right there. So now we have to install this back into here with the 4 screws. Alright, I tightened down the screws, but I don't like it. It lifts up the cup holder about a couple millimeters. And unfortunately this thing didn't come with any hardware. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny washer on the back of this screw and this screw in between the cup holder and the panel to bring this down a little bit so it looks a little bit more flush. So I gotta go find some washers real quick. I found some small washers. I'm going to use maybe 2 or 3 in between the screw and the panel to try to space it out. Let's see. You can see right here I put 2 small washers in between the cup holder and the panel. I did it right there as well. So now it looks way better. It sits more flush. I might have to put maybe 1 on the bottom side as well. Alright, so 2 washers right there on the top side. 1 washer down here on the bottom side. So now it sits way more flush. Alright, let's reinstall the cigarette lighter connector and let's put this panel back down. Alright, another customization you have to do, pretty minor, but when you try to slide the cup holder down, it actually bumps into this connector where it's mounted. Basically have to remove this connector the way it's held in place and then just let it dangle so it doesn't sit here. I just end up prying it up with my fingers. It's basically the soft plastic. See? So now I can reconnect this and then tuck it away deeper. Alright, everything kind of slides in. Make sure none of the wires are in the way and just basically snap it back into place. Reconnect this. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Ashtray delete done. Now I have 2 cup holders and I can reinstall the cigarette lighter even though I don't use it. But let's test it to make sure that the connection works. Push that down. Alright, if your cigarette lighter or USB charger doesn't work, check that little symbol right there, bottom right. The little minus sign with arrow and the plus sign. Fuse number 8. Now if you flip the card, fuse number 8 is the upper left second row. See number 8 right there. Second row on the top. Right there, fuse number 20. Sure enough, my 20 amp fuse is blown. So the previous owner maybe try to connect something to the cigarette lighter. GPS, navigation, cell phone charger, who knows. But it's not uncommon for the fuse to blow. So now I just have to reinstall a 20 amp fuse. I have this fuse kit that I bought from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. It's an assortment with different fuse amperage. And make sure you put in the right one. So these are both 20s. But look, one has longer tangs, the other one has a shorter tang. The one I just pulled out has a longer tang, just like this one. And make sure you put the exact same fuse rating. So it's a 20 amp fuse. Don't put a 30 amp fuse because you think it's going to be stronger, because you're going to cause a fire. So if it's 20 amp, put in a 20. If it's 5, put in a 5. If it's 10, put in a 10. Do not put more than what's needed. So this is a 20, this is a 20, and then install it. 20 amp fuse installed right there. The original position next to the 2 5s. And there's the fuse puller right there that I put back into its place. Alright, car turned to accessory. That's the way the cigarette lighter powers on. And I know it works now because you can see the little blue LED light right there. Earlier it wasn't lit, now it is. So it's good to go. Now instead of using this cigarette lighter, I can replace it using my USB charger. And now I have a place to throw my keys or coins or hold my soda cans. Unfortunately, it doesn't hold my water bottle or my cell phone, but it's more useful compared to the ashtray right here. And I did have to shim it with a couple washers, but now it sits nice and flush, so it does look a little OEM. And I had to move the connector. Otherwise, pretty simple install. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.